を叫べ悲しみを叫べ魂を叫べ今ここで叫べ
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I am Sean, bearded Capitalitin.
And I am Jerry Robo Tengu Smith. So you will notice we did re-record the Monster Hunter episode for the, what'd you say, it was like 11 people that viewed that one?
All 11 of you who listened to me talk to nobody seemingly. And only a couple of you were good enough to let us know that's what happened.
They were probably like, I want to see how long this goes on. Like, how many episodes can they get out before they realize that this is happening?
And that episode is our highest grossing, most avant-garde, artistic endeavor we've ever done. And like, look, Jerry, like, you know, you're my brother, you're my co-host, couldn't do the show without you. Some are saying it was a better episode with just me.
You know, and it's funny, we tried this get rich scheme with it to where, you know, we have to charge you the extra fee so you get my portion of it. It seems like everybody's like pretty in agreement that they didn't want that anyway. So here's our new thing, $5.99, and we could take out my audio. Yeah,
right. That there you go. If you like to be talking to nobody and like listening to the responses in my head, it's a fantastic new way of doing podcasting. People are gonna rip us off very soon.
Man, we are fucking revolutionaries in the podcast industry. We are paving the way for many to come after us.
It's true. But now we have both of us, right, as I'm looking at the desktop audio capture, that is Jerry's bar is moving, so it's not just me talking to my damn self again. We apologize, and I will apologize if I did take down that episode. I've actually had some people say I should have left it up. I can re-upload it if the good people out there drop a comment below if you like to hear Sean talking to himself for about an hour.
Yeah. If we get the most likes and views on this video, Sean will re-upload that.
I'll re-upload it, and then Jerry will do his own where he tries to remember what I said and respond just to himself.
I'm literally just gonna go back into it and just do raspberries through the whole silent part.
Yeah, that sounds like an award winning. I don't know if podcasts have awards. I'm sure they have them. I will never get one.
They for sure have the podcast awards. They definitely do.
They call it the Casties or something.
I don't know. Would it be the Casties?
I don't know.
That sounds weird, Sean.
I know. I mean,
it sounds like bullshit, but it's probably true.
I'm just saying, you tell me who the fuck Oscar is. I mean,
that's true.
Why is there a statue of him naked being handed out to celebrities who make films? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some kind of big thing about that, but we're not here to talk about the Oscars or the Casties that you called it.
Look, I don't know anymore. I've already forgotten how this whole thing got started. Jerry, we are now. You know, we've attempted to talk about Monster Hunter 2 different times. We've had awesome guests talk about many different things.
Right.
And in all that time, man, there's been a lot of good shit coming out of the stuff we're interested in. So I kind of wanted to let's just do a nice little rundown from manga to TV to anime. You know, just kind of like, you know, when we have the free time to do any of that shit, we really have been enjoying some new stuff. So
for sure.
I just want to do a quick rundown of manga because I know, like, during my lunch breaks, I don't like talking to anybody, and that's where I get a lot of reading done. And I know you don't quite have that free time.
I usually go for walks, actually. The weather's been pretty nice around here lately.
Well, aren't we a healthy motherfucker? I go for walks while Sean locks himself away in the dark on his phone reading manga.
I literally went for a walk earlier for like a 15-minute break and then went to fucking Jack in the Box for a burger and fries.
That is the best workout I've ever heard in my
Yeah.
life, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, here now some of these have been out for quite a few weeks already, but I just know we haven't really talked about. At least I don't think so. If we have already, fuck it, we're gonna mention them again real quick. So like,
We don't mind repeating ourselves. Fuck you.
never. Yes, we do it for the content. But some of the manga, like I'm currently reading more manga that of new ones, like as in like a weekly, not just kind of reading an old series that's already finished. But like,
Right.
I'm reading more weekly mangas now than I have in a very long time, probably since
Hmm.
the nefarious means era, as we would call it. 'Cause
Yeah.
yeah. So, and some of them are like ones like I've always prided myself on being a very broad anime and manga fan. You know, not, and I get people like their niches. They like their shonen action. Some people like their
Mhm.
slice of life only. And I've always, you know, if it's good, it's good. I've really gotten into it. That usually doesn't go for the sports ball.
Yeah.
Because I don't give a shit about sports. But what I've said for years, anime and manga have a way of making sports fucking interesting. And
Yeah.
there's been one about baseball called Nine Dragons Ball Parade, which can sound very dirty out of context. Ball parade.
Ball parade.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's about a fucking like genius analytical catcher who just never quite made a sports team, and he kind of wants to make a super team to compete with the ones who don't want him.
Mm.
Not like a spiteful way, but just kind of like, well, I'm gonna
Right.
play baseball no matter what kind of mentality.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
finds an amazing pitcher who's just like from the sticks, and he just never really tried out for a team, but he's got like a just a devastating arm. They get with a girl who's like her grandfather runs a school, so she can pretty much do whatever she wants, and she wants to make a baseball club, and it goes from there. And what's really cool about it is, and this is me being I played little league, but you know what? It was swing the bat, hit the ball, and stand in the outfield and try to catch it. No, I never was. I tried sports as a youth,
Hmm.
but never too deep. But what's really been gripping me is like, because I know what a cleanup hitter is, I know what a pitcher and a catcher and all that kind of stuff. But like the current one is going over their shortstop, the man between the second and third base, and
Hmm.
how key to defense it is. And
Hmm.
it's like, wow, like I never even thought about the extra, being the infield all that kind of stuff. It's been very cool. Our good buddy and my fellow co-host and our former co-host in podcasting, Craig Lance. He's a big baseball guy. I've been messaging him like literally once a week, going, "Read the fucking book. You need to read this book. I really think you like it." And whether you like
Yeah.
sports or not, if you like baseball even a little, you need to read this manga. If you don't care about sports, you can still probably get enjoyment out of this one. This is one I would recommend for sure.
Yeah, I actually played baseball too for like one season,
Oh, nice.
and it basically ended how my little junior football season ended, where I took a baseball in the forehead. They
Yeah.
put me on third base at one point
Oh.
during a game, and I woke up
Oh.
on a bench, and that was that.
Yeah, I was fortunate. Never caught a ball with my face, but that would do it.
Mhm.
No, I'm glad.
Right.
But hey, you had to try, right? a
Yeah.
a live
Well,
drive.
now you know how I turned out this way.
This is why you're now red as your illustration in the face. That's why his face is red. It's from that. This is a life accurate drawing I did for the.
Yeah.
Another interesting one is at first, as we were talking with our good friend Mike Del Vecchio about manga and everything, this is one we
Mhm.
were worried about the gimmick was going to kind of get old quick, and it hasn't. Luckily, it's
Mhm.
called I Tell C, like the letter C.
Mhm.
It's a crime mystery one where the lead character she falls in love with the criminal
Mm.
to the extent like literally think about your greatest psycho ex significant other or that creepy stalker who knows and finds out everything about you, but she does it for
Right.
justice. Like this is how
Okay.
she becomes obsessed with it's like murderers, thieves, doesn't matter, and like she just becomes like obsessed with finding them by and like doing
Mm.
stalker esque shit to bring
Yeah.
and it ends up bringing them in, but she's working with two detective brothers who bring them in for justice.
Oh,
And like at first,
sounds
okay,
Interesting.
yeah, like at first you think like, okay, it's just gonna be her pining and chasing him down, and a criminal gets weirded out. But it's taking pretty dark turns as well. It's really interesting. That's another one I'll check out. By the way,
Hmm.
all these are on the Shonen Viz app for
Hmm.
$2 a month.
Hmm.
Yeah, if y'all, I know we've talked about that before on the show. If y'all aren't on this, it's a great way to read some manga.
Yeah, and they've been pumping out content lately.
Let's see. I know I talked about it before. I'm not going to get into it again, but I know Jerry's not reading it yet, so I'm going to yell at him again. Hard Boiled Cop and Dolphin is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A human detective and a dolphin detective taking on underwater mafia. Cults, magic, superhero punches is amazing. You should check it
Yeah.
out. uh, the one I think we've finally convinced Jerry to start up. I know your time is
Hmm.
limited. Witch Watch has been
Hmm.
a very good. This kind of a little romantic comedy, like with hints of the action in there too. Just a witch who has been given her childhood friend, who, while human in appearance, he's descendant from Onis, ogres. So he's got
Hmm.
like super strength, but he's also very like kind of like awkward and blunt around other people. She's got a
Hmm.
crush on him. He has to protect her because there's given a prophecy that she is going to die. So her mother got him, and this here recently, which is how we finally got Jerry interested. A Tengu has appeared into the series as well.
Oh yeah, you get me every time with that.
Then we have like the elusive samurai, about the
Mm.
yeah a young kid from a feudal family, and this is like feudal Japan, so like lords, shogunates, and all that kind of stuff. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
are you reading this one?
Yes, this is actually one that I have
Okay,
been
cool. I thought
staying
so.
current on. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
very cool. Like the best type of battle manga you could ever have is running away.
Hmm.
Where this kid is a natural, just he's not strong, he's not a super fighter or anything. After his clan gets wiped out, he's the last remaining one, but he has a knack for
Hmm.
running away from people. He doesn't like crowds, doesn't like
Yeah.
people. We all can relate.
Hmm.
uh, like it's like not only is it like a very dark opening, and it stays, I think it stays the dark tones very well, but it gets
Oh yeah.
really wacky when you have an evil bow and arrow user whose eyeballs are literally popping out of his skull
Like
because
popping out of,
he's
yeah.
got supervision. it's that one's been really good. Have you been enjoying it?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's kind of interesting how they kind of demonize some of the characters, that he goes up against,
Right,
and just the style that they use whenever they're portraying that is very terrifying a lot of the time.
right.
And it's literally one of those things that, like, if they mess up, and he gets like found out or something like that, then he's going to die. And it's just been like a really interesting concept, like escaping to win and stuff like that. Like he's really, they're trying to build like a team for him, like a group. um I forgot what they even called it, like a new clan essentially.
Basically, yeah.
And
Like,
he's they're building the warriors underneath him, and they've all been really interesting, and they're actually about to introduce a new one, and I'm pretty stoked to see where that goes. They actually, I haven't read the newest issue, so I bet they did in this newest issue.
oh, okay. You're not current on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's been very good. Yeah, like I said, his retainers are
Hmm.
very interesting. They just like they're working on trying to get this new guy in. I'm not going to give away if it's been successful or not. But yeah, but them bringing in somebody trying, they're trying to recruit. They're trying to get him this young kid back into power. It's been a very good
Yeah.
one. The next one is also one of my, like, as much as I enjoy manga, not there's not always one where I almost immediately say this needs to be animated,
Hmm.
but this is one of them, and that's
Hmm.
Sakamoto Days.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you're reading this one or not, but
Haven't picked that one up yet.
a ex like the number one hitman in the world uh,
Oh.
fell in love with a convenience store clerk.
Hmm.
Immediately retired, started a family, got super fat, and runs into but other assassins still know of him, and when they figure out who he
Hmm.
is, try to kill him. and he's still like a badass, and it's so funny. Like he's so like he will like someone will draw a gun, he'll disarm them, and like you swear he just jabbed the pen into their throat to kill them. Then you just realize that like he just kind of like tapped them, but he's like the drawing, the intensity and the speed of the way it is drawn, like you can feel the motion. It's like, man, I really hope this gets an anime.
Yeah, that actually is, now that you mentioned the plot of it, I'm not up to date on it, but that is one that I've started, and I read quite a few issues of. I just need to pick it back up, but yeah, it's great. And then he's got like this like kind of sidekick person with him that he ropes into working at the convenience store that was a former assassin that has a special ability that like it's a very interesting dynamic between them two as well.
Oh, and it's only gotten crazier. I don't know how far behind you are on it. Like more characters, more assassins. I mean, there's a straight up homage to Leon the Professional at one point, and it's great. It's another one highly recommend. And I really, out of a lot of these, I really hope it gets an anime. Up next, just a simple romance anime. Again, maybe not something those who hear my interest would think I'm into, but a good love story is a good love story. This one's called Blue Box. It's just simply about a couple of kids who go to the same school. They're in different sports. She's a basketball player. He plays badminton. And they kind of like he likes her clearly, and as usual, it's always ambiguous one or the other if they like each other or not. But like she's dropping major hints, like, "Yeah, I watch you all the time." Like, and of course, you as a grown human are like, "It's obvious, you fuck." And the fun is the will they, won't they? And yeah, it's only a couple chapters in, but it's already got me really invested in the will they, won't they aspect, which is, I think, key in a good romantic story. So.
Yeah, and like how much of the sports theme is like tied into that?
Not super. It's just like the most. She ends up staying with them because her parents take a job overseas, and their parents are friends, but they have actually never really hung out with each other a lot. Just their parents always like went out and did stuff together, like for years. So when she wants to stay to go to the finals in Japan for her basketball team, her parents bring her to live with him, which of course is making him as excited as he is nervous. That his crush is there. So you get it from his perspective that he's very much into her, and it's got those hints that she's into him because she always talks about, "Yeah, I watch you play all the time. I always see you practicing. Like she's watching you, bro. Come on." and for me, that's a lot of fun in a romantic story. Although. My favorite like romantic anime, some of them being like Toradora and My Love Story, are the ones which, sorry spoilers, but those are both several years old, so get over it. Where they get together, and not always at the end. There's been really good ones where they get together, and then it's the issue that can still happen within the relationship. So
right.
And I don't know how this one's going to go. It could be a tease the entire time, or I don't know, but I'm enjoying it now. It's like I said, a couple chapters in, and like I said, I read every new manga that drops, at least the first chapter, to see if it hooks me. And this one I saw was a romance story, and I do like them. They're not usually my like regular kind of read, but yeah, I'm digging that one. The last one is the one I know you have read too, and we're gonna have again another one that needs an anime already. I'm saying it's at chapter 1.
Yeah,
Candy Flurry.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's I just read this maybe an hour ago, and yeah, it was great.
in a world where Willy Wonka created chocolate that can give you powers to summon candy, and so you hear that, you're like, well, that's just strange. Okay, so people can make candy and donuts whenever they want to eat. That's great. No. You see, Tokyo is destroyed. Because giant lollipops have crushed the city.
Yeah.
And nobody knows who did it. It turns out it's our lead. She can make lollipops.
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't gonna. Yeah, it appears to be the lead. Okay, let me. Oh, I wasn't trying to bury the lead. I was trying to get some intrigue, Jerry. But okay, I already saw you were going into like correct.
Well, so here's the big thing about it is the way that the abilities work is every ability is unique and no one has the same ability. There's only 100 of these candies out here that give powers, and lollipops rain down from the sky and destroy Tokyo, and she has a lollipop ability.
Right.
So, you put two together on that and you're like, okay. Well, and then the other thing that kind of got me was the group that they had. What was it called? Like the Ricini or something like that?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how to pronounce it.
They're essentially a Richetti. Yeah, it's Richetti. They're like a spec ops team that's tasked with dealing with these suite users. And like it's just really great. I think the actions it's a really fun series. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but like the action looks really cool.
Right.
And I love me a unique ability, and it seems like this is going to be chock full of them.
Yeah, I think because within the first chapter, we see the destructive power of giant lollipops, and how you make a donut kaiju.
Yep.
To where like
it was
yeah,
great.
and when you see a piece of candy being wielded like the great sword in Monster Hunter, it makes me want to have a skin for my great sword of a lollipop.
Yep.
Well, that's as much as we've probably already said too much. Yeah, check this one out if you can. Like it's one chapter in, and it's already a very unique and interesting premise with some great art. So, unfortunately, with our luck, I don't even want to say it out loud. We've already said it in text and jinxed it enough.
Right.
Hopefully, this one sticks.
I actually, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, seriously, I really want to see what they have in store for us on this.
All right.
I actually had two that I kind of wanted to mention.
Okay.
So the first one, R.I.P. Fucking Phantom Seer.
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer. It felt like it was really, getting up there with the storyline, and they had a really good plot going on that they wanted to do with it. With like, going after these specific people that's under the big boss that they revealed in the last story arc and everything. Sadly, we did not get to see it all come to fruition because they, how the meat grinder works at Shonen Jump. Almost said Shonen Grump, and it got canceled. So unfortunately, that one's out. But it was a fun ride. Whenever we got to enjoy it,
I enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, it was nice seeing the artist for Tokyo Shinobi Squad again.
Right. Another series we talked about before that ended way too early. But real quick before we get into that, since you brought that one up, the artist's previous work in this one. Now, Tokyo Shinobi Squad, they pretty much like just all of a sudden, bam, and gave us an ending. It wrapped up. Like we kind of did the time jump, and we learned. I forget the characters' names now, but like the sidekick, we saw him kind of grow. Phantom Seer, they beat one of the minions. And they're like, all right, the end. Like, so we didn't get a rushed ending like a lot of manga will do when they know it's ending. Like, does that? I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you want a rushed ending, or just kind of leave it where it lays and maybe it'll return? Like, does that give you more hope?
Yeah.
Or like how if it has to end early, what's your preference? Like, how did you feel about those two endings?
I guess it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, it's really one of those things of like, in one aspect, it's like, oh, this would have been really awesome to see them grow and change like to this, because they did the same thing, I think, with Last Sayuki, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, oh, this was going to be the end game. Oh, also, oh man, what was the one with the witch and the knight combo? Guardian of the Witch.
Yeah,
that one had kind of the same thing, where they just basically gave you how the series was going to end in the last chapter.
Right.
And I thought it was kind of an interesting aspect, because there's not a good chance that we'll get like endings or even more to these stories. So at least they give us some kind of wrap up. As far as Phantom Seer, I'm assuming that the artist is contracted with Shonen Jump and everything.
Right.
So if we do see the story again, and I don't even know how that works. Like, does Shonen Jump own the rights to that, and they make it to where you can't take the story anywhere else, or
Typically,
you
my
know,
understanding is if it's published
yeah,
by them, it's owned by them. But
yeah,
there
it
are
makes
some,
sense.
there have been some examples though, and which
Mm-hmm.
makes I didn't see a notification on there, and I haven't really checked online. But like,
Mm-hmm.
what was it called? Build Kings, one I didn't
Oh,
get
right.
into,
Mm-hmm.
recently ended as well. But it said it will be continued in graphic novel, and I
Oh,
know,
oh, right, right.
and I know some other series which I cannot remember off the top of my head right now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, said it was moving to digital only, but not on this
Oh,
app,
okay.
but like on maybe their official website, and
Yeah,
maybe this one might be continued
yeah.
that way, but it didn't say on the my Viz app that I have.
Yeah. Well, I know one of the ones is Chainsaw Man is actually moving to
Okay,
like I
yeah,
think Teen Jump or something like that. It's whatever the step up is for mature readers.
right, right.
Which I'm kind of hoping like they kind of see this thing where they're like, "Oh, people really like Chainsaw Man. We need to like market our other magazine for the apps too so
Hopefully,
people can read that." And I guess like if anything else, they should do it for Viz. I know like
yeah,
they have stuff that's made by Viz that they don't put on the app, but is still on their website. I honestly don't get it. I guess it's because you don't really need to go through a lot to sign up for Viz. But
yeah.
I feel like people that would take advantage of that, even if they weren't of age, would still just go on the browser and read the stuff. So it's kind of like a moot point to just not put it on the app, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
If that's the
yeah.
reason why, yeah, that's it's.
Hmm.
Kids are gonna find their adult stuff. Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's just reality. But yeah,
Hmm.
so real quick, what was the other one you wanted to talk about?
Oh, Ghost Reaper Girl. I don't know that
Yes,
we've gone too far into that one.
I think we
But
mentioned it,
that,
yeah, but not like
yeah,
a deep dive or anything.
yeah, and I'm really sad because I saw a new issue came out, but it was a point one, and it
Hmm.
was just a colored cover page.
It was a
I was
nice
so sad.
colored
Yeah,
double page
it
spread,
was,
sir.
but I wanted a story. I wanted to continue the
Yeah,
story.
yeah, I can see with that one because not only is it as we mentioned before, it's a very cool premise, especially with
Hmm.
our lead, her ability to kind of merge with her spirit familiars and stuff into the
Hmm.
different forms. But like the art is so damn detailed and good. This
Hmm.
is one of those that doesn't come out every week.
Yeah.
Always like it takes a break where at least we get a little like a pin up or a color spread or something to kind of give. I think
Hmm.
not like Oda who gets to take a week off because he is
Hmm.
One Piece, and we
Yeah.
want him to live to finish it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that creator just gets those little like once a week breaks just to kind of yeah as much not to overwork them, which I hope that's a sign that that it's
Hmm.
the grind of making Japanese manga maybe is getting a little bit easier.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, and just the reveals that they've had and all of the influences of like H.P. Lovecraft stuff has been really
yeah,
neat, and it's kind of cool to see like the take on this, but in a manga format and like how they're rolling with it
no, yeah,
in this
absolutely.
series. Yeah, yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah, that one that's a very enjoyable like the formation now of like like the team like she's had the team with her familiars but now working with other people and then like yeah dealing with this current cult has been really interesting.
Yeah,
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 another one
hell
yeah,
yeah.
highly recommend it. But
Hmm.
so that's pretty much it for manga.
Hmm.
So like, and we're currently in the second week, roughly, of the spring anime lineup. What's
Right,
what's been
right.
some what's been some standouts for you?
Man, so I'll start off by saying there's nothing more exciting than going into an episode of a show that you've been watching all winter and you fucking love it. And
Yeah,
you're like, oh man, it sucks. It's going to end soon. And you turn on the newest episode and there's a new fucking intro because that means they're
yeah,
going for a second half of that season,
oh yeah,
baby. And it's so good. Fucking, so I'm a spider, so what?
yes,
Oh man, it's been such a good show. I think it's just kind of like I don't like maybe rekindled that whole SK lead in me because I've been I was hesitant on slime for some reason. I think we went into it in another episode, but
yeah,
I'm so glad that it kind of rekindled that because I jumped back on it, got caught up, and like it's fantastic. Same thing with ReZero. Oh man, that second season of ReZero was so good.
ReZero destroyed my soul repeatedly
Mhm,
this last
mhm.
season.
Yeah, yeah.
Spider has kept me on edge with the mystery, the character
Oh yeah.
development, and just the fun of it. And of course, Slime. Every time you think, like literally, I think we were talking with Mike about it.
Mhm.
He was like, "So is this just kind of about the day to day life of running a village?" Like it is until, and then shit
Yeah.
gets real, and that's what
Yep.
Slime kind of does. It lulls you into, oh, we're hitting slice of life. What? A new demon lord shows up, or something, And so Slime has stayed consistent, but there's actually been like some. And of course, like My Hero Academia is back, and of course,
Mhm.
it's the Class 1A versus Class 1B team
Mhm.
battle. We've already got that dickhead from 1B doing his JoJo pose. I just love to hate him. I can't think of his name right now.
Mhm.
I just love to hate him.
Yeah.
But I've been waiting for this and what it's going to lead into with the League of Villains arc. Should be
Mhm.
all within this season.
Yeah, and then like I know a standout show that we noticed before it started, so we were kind of ready and expecting.
Yeah.
They've only got 2 episodes out so far, and it's been good. It's an interesting premise. I'm waiting for that shoe to drop in, like the main character to really start standing out and standing on his own. But Tokyo Revengers
Right.
has been good so far.
It has been good, and I think
Yeah.
episode 3 is going to be that, which I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I'm already invested because
Mhm.
we're getting the mystery, we're getting we have the goal set. Like I think
Mhm.
I think I may have mentioned before in an earlier episode when we first saw it coming, just
Mhm.
about how it's like kind of remind me of a race with the time travel going back in time to stop a crime in the modern time.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
now you're adding in high school delinquents, and
Yep.
that's if you can't tell by our name, that's our jam. There's been pompadours everywhere, so I know you're happy. And yeah, the lead character, like I don't know how long term like the manga is. I know it's been an ongoing manga,
It
and
was 21 volumes.
oh, see there you go. And so like,
Mhm.
and sometimes with anime, you worry about like if it's a chapter per episode adaptation, like say like Gantz, and they don't get enough time to really see the character, which may have a slow development, it can kind of hinder
Mhm.
it. And I think the Gantz anime suffer from that because the lead takes a little while for him not to be an asshole.
Right.
But this one, I think he's stepping up after the end of the second episode. I think is where we're going to
Mhm.
get. I don't think he's going to magically turn into a badass. I don't think he ever actually
Right.
was. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think he's finally coming to grips with what he has to do, and to
Mhm.
prevent a murder in the future by going into the past. It's a very, like I said, very erased without all the child heartbreaking stuff. Because these are at least
Mhm.
junior high. I think they said they're middle school, so these are junior high kids that are fighting other junior high kids who like they're in their 30s, as most delinquent manga and anime tend to go. But yeah, Tokyo Revengers has been really good. Uh, I'll tell you what's also been really fucking good, and I don't know if
Mhm.
it's based on a manga. I know I wouldn't read it if it was a manga.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
the Snow White Notes.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Yes. It is based on a manga actually. It's
I
been going since 2009 to present. There's 27 volumes out so far.
and good. I'm glad. I
Mhm.
hope there are people who can do it, but it is a manga and an anime about
Mhm.
shamisen playing, which is for
Mhm.
lack of a better description, a Japanese guitar. You guys would see it often in like feudal Japan. There's plucking the thing. Uh, the music in this show is fucking gorgeous. The shamisen playing,
Mhm.
which I've always
Yeah.
we're fucking weebs. I don't know about you how deep you are, but I love that. And just recently, there's been a band I've been following called the Wagaki Band, which I believe means
Oh
something
yeah.
like traditional instruments with modern
Mhm.
instruments. And they have a badass shamisen player. She's like
Mhm.
going head toe to toe on like fucking Dragon Force level of fucking speed, keeping up with these songs. It's been really good. So this
Mhm.
anime though is just about a boy who learned to play the shamisen. His grandfather was a big player as well, and when he passed away, he felt like he lost his music. So he goes out to
Mhm.
explore and find it. That's
Yeah.
basically the simple plot. But what I can't describe in words, and you have to see it, is how they show the performances, how they play the
Mhm.
music. It's
Yeah.
just like I can't look away. Like it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It is a beautiful anime. And
Yeah, it's like super gripping. Like in anytime the main character starts playing,
yeah,
I mean, and even from the newest episode, like just side, anytime they have someone playing of some kind of like renown or something that
right.
that gives you feeling in music, because that's a big thing that music is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you feel something, and it's the shamisen playing is so like diverse and versatile, with the different feelings that it portrays and just the stories kind of that the music tells,
Right.
and it is just really well portrayed in the show, and it's just been phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. That one, yeah. Honestly, and again, it's one of those like I'm open to most any genre of anime or manga, but I can't say I've ever watched any of like the bigger like musical based ones. Like like was it
Hmm.
Beck? I think
Beck, yeah.
was a really big one. The last one was honestly K-On! Because my wife especially loved it. Just a slice of life
Man,
girl band. After
you
school
you
music
mean
club.
to tell me you never watched Detroit Metal City?
No, I never heard of that one.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yes, I
Oh,
have.
bro. Oh my God. I'm about to change your world.
I'm a,
It's only like 12 episodes or something like that, and the episodes are short. Yeah, you've got to watch it.
Jerry,
If you still have VRB,
Jerry,
I believe it's all on there.
Jerry.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Please tell me you're kidding.
I'm kidding.
Okay, good.
I'm pretty sure we
Jesus
watched it
Christ.
together.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure because I've made so many people watch that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no,
yeah.
no. I've
It's so
seen the
good.
live action movie of
Yeah.
Detroit Metal
Yeah, with
City.
Gene Simmons at the end of it. Oh, it's
It's
so good.
Detroit Metal City is fucking amazing. No, no, I'm totally
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah, no, I was going to be really amazed if you didn't. And we were going to stop this podcast and you were going to go watch all 12 episodes and then we were going to continue the podcast.
You know how many times I've forgotten how long it takes shit to order from Japan, and I've almost bought you SH figure arts of the band members for you
Yeah.
for your birthday over the years I've known you. I just every time I think about it, it's like it's too close. It's going to take too long.
I have one of them.
Oh yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But that's another
I
one
just
if
need to
y'all
get the
have.
rest
That's an older
Mhm.
one, but we'll recommend because I know
Yeah.
we haven't talked about it on the
Mhm.
podcast. Detroit Metal
Mhm.
City. Go check that anime
Yes.
out if you can find it wherever you can find it. Still
Yeah,
on
it's about
VRB.
this guy. It's about this guy that's into trendy pop music, and he lives out in the country, and he can't wait to go to school in Tokyo and become a trendy pop musician. And whenever he gets out of school, the only work that he can find is working as a lead for a death metal band, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's kind of great. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I think got one last series I'm watching. That I'm watching. I don't know
Mhm.
if there's for you. It is what I call the heartbreak of the
Oh,
season so far. It's a
right.
2 year eternity.
Oh yeah.
And I've already been telling people about this, and it's like my description will not do justice. It has to be seen because the plot
Hmm.
by description is weird. So check it out. God
Hmm.
sends an orb to Earth who turns into a rock for a long time. Then a wolf, wounded wolf, dies next to the rock. The orb, as a rock now, turns into the wolf. And then the wolf finds a lone boy in a village by himself. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but it is tragedy. It
Yeah.
is so beautifully sad. Uh, and like without, because again, you don't want to talk too much about what goes on because that's
Yeah.
the appeal. If you're ready for the feels with
If
beautiful,
you want to have your heart consumed and then shit out, please watch this show.
watch the show. Gorgeous animation, beautiful music that just adds depth and layers to the emotions that are going on within just the first episode alone. you know,
Mhm.
yeah. 2 Year Eternity is going to be the one that's going to be like, man, I thought anime was just about big hair and energy balls and shit. like it's the one that people who only think of anime and think of Dragon Ball Z. This is already potentially being one of those those animes out there where you're like, there's good anime and then there's art. This one's
Right.
already feeling like art.
Hmm.
So yeah, it came out of nowhere for me. It was not on my radar at all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's It's fantastic. It's really beautiful, and I am afraid to see where it takes us.
Oh, I can tell you now, the tears, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's I mean, there's been other ones, and there was one I want to say it's like "Don't Tease Me, Senpai," that some
Mm.
YouTubers Trash Taste podcast, Joey the Anime Man, had talked about was
Mhm.
getting in. He's a big fan of the manga, and it's a comedy
Mhm.
about a like I don't know, junior, sophomore, whatever, the first year in high school or junior high, whatever, uh, girl sees a little nerdy, quiet boy and decides to tease him into tears repeatedly and just fuck with his head while she's just laughing at him. Then she's nice, and she's mean to him. Then she's nice. Don't know if it's flirtation or if she's just a cruel bitch. I'm not seeing the appeal, but it's like it's good art, and
Mhm.
maybe those people who like a I don't know, girl teasing a boy, that might be your gig. You might like it. It seems well done. I got irritated, but I'm also a grumpy old man. So, uh, like it's a comedy. It's supposed to be lighthearted, but I'm sitting there like, kick the bitch out of her chair. I think that's the only I tried it. That's the only one I've really tried that I haven't stuck with. It's something like "Don't Tease Me,
Mhm.
Senpai" or something like that. It's on Crunchyroll. It might be other people's jam. I could see other people liking it. For me, it's just like just someone's the voice actress deserves an award for the most evilly maniacal laughter in an anime as she teases this man, but it also makes me want to choke her. So that's really it for me on anime. Did you have
Yeah,
anything else?
you don't have any like isekai or like really like lewd recommendations or ugly bastard anime or anything like that for us?
Oh no, well
That's
they have
amazing.
you have to tune into the Yokai Degenerates Patreon only podcast to get into my dirty shows. No, sadly I don't have any dirty shows. The labyrinth only I can enter is already ended. So,
Oh, wow.
well, at least done for the season. I don't
Uh,
know if it'll be back.
yeah, I honestly think that that is basically all that I've been watching anime wise lately. Those Snow White Notes. You got the Eternity show.
Yeah.
I'm really kind of sad. I guess they're not simulcasting it because Netflix may have gotten the rights to it. But Shaman King
Yeah.
just started airing on the first in Japan.
Right.
And it's slated for like a later this year. I
Oh,
think on
okay.
Netflix. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Netflix. My
wait.
understanding is Netflix doesn't do simulcasting, or very rarely, unless they personally produced it.
Yeah,
If they just
makes
have
sense.
releases, because again, the Trash Taste podcast guys, they're located in
Mhm,
Japan, and
mhm,
they talk about it. Like, yeah, they can watch it now because they got Netflix over there. But
mhm.
American viewers are like, yeah, check it out when it gets there, whenever it gets there.
Yeah. Yay.
But there's been a lot of just good old regular TV as well here recently.
Right.
We got
Uh,
yeah. What do you
go
want to
for it.
kick? Oh, okay. I was going to kick off with Falcon Winter Soldier, just
Yeah.
real
Oh yeah.
briefly because like we haven't really talked much about it because like I'm not going to say it like in a bad way, but it's not
Mm,
it's not deep in the level of like WandaVision where we had kind of like
mhm.
what the fuck's going on almost every episode. It's
Yeah.
just, and I think we're going to dedicate a real in-depth look once it's over, which is as of
Oh,
this
for sure.
recording should be this Friday, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so we'll get into a little bit more, but it's just been a good buddy cop spy kind of mystery
Hmm.
thriller. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
My whole what I've gained from watching WandaVision and then watching this, and I really like that they're doing this with the series. Um, but essentially, they're making these people into who they want them to be next, for this next big phase.
right, right.
And it's kind of good because instead of just trying to do it like in an hour 45 minutes of like, this is who I am now, or this is the mantle that I'm taking, or this is my abilities, and I've come into them at this point. They've set us up with these really good like long story driven plot lines where it's like putting you into these characters' shoes and kind of giving you their motivations and everything. And it's a lot more character driven than, most of the movies where, they just, have to force so much down your throat in that short amount of time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're going to do the movies after this, because we're already going to have all this time wrapped up in these characters, and have so much information about them and everything. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really digging what they're doing with Falcon and Winter Soldier for sure.
Yeah. And that's what I think the benefit of the TV, instead of having to go through a trilogy of movies and then
Yeah.
the big come together an Avengers film, we're getting those trilogy of movies in TV. And then
Yeah.
so that means like we're not going to have a 10-year story build to the big bad. We're going to have 3 or 4. And it's just going to be a lot of television, and then the big come together movie, I think, is what they're aiming for. And honestly, that makes me excited because, like I said, long form storytelling, like a lot of comic book stories, TV lends itself a lot better than a single movie, even if it's a 3-hour film. So
Yeah, and I mean with this ending, the week we're recording, right?
yeah,
I think what Loki starts that first week of May. Am I right?
honestly I think it's June.
Really?
I think we got a month in between them because I think they're spacing out these shows for cause I think some Star Wars stuff is starting. And I don't think they're gonna
Hmm.
run like I think we got the Bad Batch coming very soon.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because Loki comes out June 11th. I see
Yeah,
that.
so I think we're gonna get
Yeah.
they don't want to overlap for reasons I guess,
Hmm.
and because I think we're getting something else like the Bad Batch or something non Marvel is gonna be debuting
Hmm.
for that month, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna get Loki.
Yeah. And I think what it really was is originally they were gonna have Black Widow in May, because May
Oh
is like
yeah,
Marvel's month to release something. So maybe they're just like trying to have movies in between like seasons of the shows or something
oh
like that.
yeah, that
Like
too.
yeah, and I guess we got to kind of keep in mind that because of COVID, their whole schedule is off.
Yeah,
So like things aren't lining up how they should have been. So I'm assuming that this movie was supposed to be coming out around the time Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to,
yeah, because I know.
or right after.
Well, originally Falcon Winter Soldier was supposed to actually air first of these new TV shows, but because they're filming out on locations and not just in a studio like WandaVision, COVID delayed a lot of filming. So WandaVision actually
Yeah.
just got finished first, so they put it out first. So like I said, everything's out of plan for what they were gonna do. So yeah, I
Hmm.
forgot about Black Widow. I keep forgetting it is coming, and
Finally. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna pay the $30. I ain't gonna lie, if that's what they charge for it. That's what they charge for the other like Mulan and
Yeah.
Raya.
And I mean, like for those, I'll wait, for them to actually release them. I think like they did for Onward.
Right.
But I mean, for something big like a Marvel film, I mean, I'm pretty sure Steph and I will be vaccinated by then, so we might feel more comfortable to actually go out to the theaters.
Ah, okay.
Um, but also like I wouldn't mind paying $30 to watch it at the house as well. So
Yeah,
I think
it's
either way, it's kind
it's
of okay.
that. It's like talk about it here on the show. I still go to the comic book on a weekly basis, and I talk to a lot of nerds who
Mhm.
don't. Nerds are the worst for spoilers, and they're gonna want to talk. So I'll end up
Mhm.
seeing it probably when it comes out.
Yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan of paying $30 for a movie on a service I'm already paying for, but then again,
that's true.
well, honestly, it's the third. If they had the Amazon like 5 or even say an $8 rental, I'd be a lot better with that. But yeah,
Right, right.
when it drops, we'll see. Because honestly, I'm excited for that. But
Hmm.
I guess the other really big show that's come out though too is on. Speaking of Amazon Prime, actually, a comic
Hmm.
book you're very familiar with would
Oh
be
yes,
Invincible.
man. You don't know how excited I like, because this was something that I was really into as it was coming out,
Yeah,
and I was always trying to preach it to people, but occasionally, like I think you kind of just had issues getting into it in a comic format.
right.
Um, and it was just kind of one of those things that I would like, tell people about. And it was at that point, it was just kind of like daunting. It's like telling people to get into One Piece, but they're comic book readers, so it's like, oh my god, 60 issues, this is nuts or something.
Right.
Um, but and it's also one of those things of like, it being a independent thing and a superhero story, people, if they want superheroes, they'll go after the name brand stuff with Marvel and DC.
Right.
And it's really hard for people to get into superheroes that aren't in those two. So it was always such a tough sell to get people into Invincible. And I freaking love that they are doing this animated series and they're doing it so right. And it's just been just amazing. I've loved it so much. The voice casting is like just the best out of almost any animated thing I've ever watched. I feel
like I don't. I have a pretty good vocabulary, but I rarely make myself, in my mind, sound like I'm gonna use a fancy ass word. But sometimes something really deserves the pomp and circumstance. This is a stellar voice cast. You know what I mean? I'm not just saying it's fucking awesome. It's good. This is a stellar fucking voice cast. This cast is amazing. Everybody is perfect in these roles. And you lent me the first omnibus a while ago, and admittedly, I don't remember what I was doing at the time. Maybe I was reading a ton of manga, didn't have time for it. But I have heard though that like the show is a lot faster paced than how the comic played out, and I don't remember enough to really to judge for myself. But I ain't gonna lie, I've already been eyeballing the 3 omnibus at my local comic book shop now that I've watched the show. And hey, I mean, it's happened before. I read the first chapter of My Hero Academia and said, nah, not for me.
I think I did the same thing.
Then the
first back in the day.
Then the season dropped, and we're like, oh, I need to make cosplay. I love this. I need to buy statues and toys. So it's probably going to be one I'm going to revisit. I've got I recently got rid of a good chunk of my single comic collection, so I've got a lot of store credit at Kapow Comics. So that omnibus set might be getting purchased once. Probably waiting to see how the season ends. Make sure it's not just the hype of the new episode every week. And I know some major bips about it because we've talked. We've known each other for years, and you told me some major story elements, but it's not deterring me from at least being interested.
I have a pretty good idea of where they're going to end this story arc in the season, and if it doesn't make people want to keep watching, I don't know what will, because it's going to be incredible. Like because I mean, like even after that first episode, like I literally want to be in that room, whenever the parent is like, oh, hey kid, let's watch this fucking superhero show. This will be so great. It'll be something that we can do together and stuff. And then they get to that first after credit scene and they're just like, oh no, this is cartoons. What is cartoons these days?
Oh my god. It's cartoons, so it's okay. But no, it's been an amazing show. It's been very popular. We got we got a few minutes left. Obviously, we'll go long if we need to. Is there anything else really that's that you've been watching TV wise?
Well, one more thing I was going to mention about Invincible was the voice cast is just, there's so many people that it's almost like you'll have people that have been on since episode 1 that I'll be listening to and I'll be like, holy shit, this is that person. I think it was Zachary Quinto as Robot. It didn't hit me until this last episode. I was like, oh my god, who all's in this show? But Invincible is amazing. Fucking watch this show. Watch it twice. Watch it 3 times. I don't care. Just watch it.
Yeah,
so good.
I cheat with that with the voice cast because everyone sounds familiar. Obviously, like J.K. Simmons, I recognize immediately.
Right.
But Amazon Prime, at least on the television app, has a great thing where you pause it. It'll actually show the cast who's in that scene. So I'm constantly pausing to see who all's who within the show.
Yeah, it's so good. But going off of like other shows, and I know the second episode's out now. But Steph and I are always like looking for cool new HBO stuff to watch, and a new series came out called The Nevers, not Evers,
The
Nevers. And I was a little hesitant because the last thing that they came out with that was sort of like this kind of vibe, it kind of like, I watched it all, but it just kind of like I don't know, fell through the cracks. And I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was the one with like the fairies and all
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
fantasy
I
creatures
never
and stuff.
did check that one out. No.
I I finished it. I didn't mind it. I thought it was a cool concept, but it's one of those things that if you take like, old England or London or whatever
Yeah.
and you put like something fantastical in it, like I'm almost kind of hooked. So
Yeah,
I'll at
yeah.
least give it the first episode. And this one is essentially like an event happens and a bunch of people get abilities. And it's just kind of this thing where it's kind of upset the balance in their world. You have a group of powerful people that are like, what do we do about these people? They could be trouble. It's essentially your mutant story from X-Men, right?
Right.
You have people that are really against it. You have a secret shady organization that are apparently abducting these people, and then you have a group of people that like basically sort of run like a wayward home for these people that go and try to find them and save them from bad things happening to them.
Oh yeah, it's industrial age England X-Men. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Because like early on, you see all the people with power seem to be women for the most
Hmm.
part. So at first, at least what we're seeing early on, that they're women. So of course you see a bunch of high-powered old white men in power. We're like, well, we can't be having women doing these things. Like it's that
Right.
blatant. Like replace
Hmm.
mutant with what they call themselves, the afflicted or something like that, the changed. They had like kind of a name for
Yeah,
them, and they're
yeah.
and like it's basically like, well, we can't have them feeling special. We got to bring them down. It's a very much a take on minorities, much like X Men was or is still
Hmm.
to this day. People out there who said I like the X Men better when it wasn't so political. uh, but so yeah,
Right.
now I'm with you. I love the industrial age English stories, like the Peaky
Hmm.
Blinders, From Hell, the
Hmm.
Jack the Ripper stuff. Has always been
Yeah.
like that setting for a lot of English stories is one of my personal favorites. I have to agree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was really well done. They like in the all the effects and stuff that they do with the abilities is really neat. They had an opera scene in the first
Oh yeah,
episode. Woo! That was some really cool shit.
yes,
And it doesn't look like they're just gonna stop with like having abilities and stuff. They've got some really neat, like interesting kind of like gadgets and technology floating around in this time period too.
yeah.
So yeah,
Getting that.
that's awesome. I am definitely on this show for the foreseeable future.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I came in a little bit late. My wife watched it, I think, on its premiere, but everyone had been telling me to check it out. So
Yeah,
glad to have watched that. And yeah, man, that's what you have
I've
something
got
else?
I've got one more thing. I've
Okay,
got one more
cool,
thing.
cool,
Dude,
go.
it's been a long time since we've talked about some stuff that we've been watching or
True,
have
true.
watched. I know we both watched it at this point, so I feel like it's okay to talk about. But Godzilla King Kong,
Oh yes,
yeah,
that film.
the big grand slam finally happened.
Yeah, we had the build up in the quadrilogy with the grand
Hmm.
finale of the Kong versus Zilla, God versus
Hmm.
a king, the heavyweight matchup of the millennia.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, guess we got to do a quick review of it. Yeah, not
uh,
super quick, obviously. We'll go long,
yeah,
fuck
right,
it. But
right.
yeah, quick thought. The title fight, amazing.
Oh yeah.
And delivered on one of the few rare things, surprisingly enough, in versus films, a clear
Hmm.
victor, a clear winner in
Right.
their fight, which is what you rarely get. And I don't necessarily want to give that away, because
Yeah.
maybe some people hadn't gone out and seen it.
Yeah,
Uh,
there was no what did you just say? Mothra? How do you know that name?
Protect
Scene in
Mothra.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none of that bullshit. No, several fights through the movie, culminating in the tiebreaker. We'll put it like that. And yeah,
Hmm.
a clear winner. And then other
Hmm.
shit goes down, and
Oh man.
that was very good. And I know
Yeah.
people are usually the humans are usually the weak side of a Godzilla, a giant monster film, and
Right.
but sometimes, and I can usually deal with it. It's fine. King of Monsters, I thought had a great balance. Godzilla,
Hmm.
I didn't have as big of an issue as a lot of people, but I get why they did because
Hmm.
it really was a throwback to the original Gojira Godzilla, where it was. You don't see Godzilla much because he's still kind of that mystery. So, you get a lot more human with this one. Well, with that one, I mean. With this one,
Hmm.
we needed literally only 3 humans because every other human appearance was not fucking necessary.
Yeah, yeah.
To me, like, they brought back Millie Bobby Brown. Some of y'all know her
Hmm.
better as 11 from Stranger Things if you don't know her real name.
Hmm.
Because she was in the previous one. Now she's suddenly very much into conspiracy theories and not drinking tap water and Hollow Earth. And we got Paperboy. I don't know the actor's real name, but he's Paperboy from Atlanta to me. He always will be. He's popped up in a great thing. He's a very versatile actor.
What was his name in Deadpool 2?
Was he in Deadpool
I
2?
don't. Yeah, he was that one kid in
No.
Deadpool
I'm not
2,
talking
right?
about him. I'm not,
Oh, oh,
I'm talking about the conspiracy
the
host, the actual.
go,
Yeah,
gotcha.
his
Gotcha.
whole thing, which he being a part of that thing, but like the whole him being like, I don't know, maybe because we have a certain friend who's all about conspiracies and all that kind of stuff, it rubbed us the wrong way. But like all that could, yeah, no, the kid who was the explosive kid from Deadpool 2, he was completely useless. There was no reason
Yeah.
for him to be there other than to be a punching bag for bad jokes. We we didn't need the oh is this woman going to interfere in our leads who actually matters possible love affair? Yeah, she was hot. Then she created floating cars. Not necessary. Way too much time with that. Like all we needed was the lady, the mute girl, and the dude leading the taking Kong to the center, the Hollow Earth.
Hmm.
Way too much people, but it did not take away from when we got our giant monster fights. We got some hellified monster fights, and they were like in the daytime, or at least brightly lit, not hidden by rain and water, except for the water battle, which is necessary because it's a water battle, and it was a very good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. It's weird how they actually managed to be able to show you everything that's going on when they're fighting underwater. When some people direct movies and you can't even tell what's going on in the fucking rain
Yep.
with giant things fighting.
We loved Pacific Rim when we watched it,
Yeah.
but when you kind of go back, yeah, you see a lot of shortcuts taken in that film.
Yeah.
But overall, I liked it. I think King of Monsters is better, but
Hmm.
it's a solid end to a quadrilogy. I mean, what did you overall think of it?
Yeah, no, I loved it, and I mean, you got to know that they added something in it that's like made me freak the fuck out. But somebody fucking spoiled it for me, like
Oh
right
yeah,
before I watched it, and I fucking unfriended them from Facebook like immediately.
good man.
Um, yeah,
Spoilers
but
aren't cool, bro.
yeah, seriously. But I really hope that they continue it. I don't know if there's any like desire to, or if they're planning on it, or even if they're gonna be like, "Hey, we've got something here. Let's like start a whole new like thing." I mean, I personally would be cool with them like picking up Gamera or something. If they
Oh,
wanted
I
to
would love some
Hollywood.
Gamera. What I looked into it actually a little bit because this is what I do as a quasi movie reviewer on my
Mhm.
Bearded Kappa Productions YouTube channel.
Mhm.
This was the final movie in the contract between Toho and Legendary, so that's
Right.
why there was no after credit scene. There was nothing to hint toward a sequel. But this
Right.
movie did gangbusters overseas because it released overseas first and then theaters here, and I think it did very well here as well, even with our limited theater access. But it was
Mhm.
the number one movie on HBO Max. So much so pissing
Yeah.
off all you fucking Snyder tards. Excuse my language.
Oh wow.
Well, did you hear about this? They review bombed it on Rotten Tomatoes to try and make it seem like King Kong vs. Godzilla was a flop because they were mad because
Wow.
the Snyder cut wasn't getting as much love.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, but yeah, despite their efforts, and
Right.
you can go watch your black and white version of that 4 hour bore fest.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, and just kind of like uh, talking about HBO Max, like they've got a really good deal going on. I mean,
yeah.
in continuity of when we're recording this, we're getting a Mortal Kombat this Friday, and I cannot fucking wait for that movie.
Hell
I'm so
yes.
yeah. Yeah.
And they actually just added the animated Scorpion movie I've been meaning to watch forever. So I have no
Oh.
excuse. I need to watch that.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, HBO Max is doing it the right way. They did it with, I think, Wonder Woman was the first, where it was, hey, it's on HBO for the next month. After that,
Mm-hmm.
you pay $8 to rent it or $30
Yeah.
to own it. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
system. I wish Disney Plus would take that. After,
Mm-hmm.
'cause I don't think Raya and the Mulan remake sold very well on the app. But
Right.
like I said, Black Widow will probably unfortunately change all that. Then they won't change their mind. But no, HBO Max has been killing it
Mm-hmm.
with their releases, and
Yeah.
yeah, excited for Mortal Kombat. And that's going to
Oh
be
yes.
this Friday, the 23rd, as of this recording.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, well, sir, I think that is going to do it for today.
Oh yes.
Always good catching up with you, brother. Seeing what all we're. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
granted, we're texting every damn day, but they didn't got to know that. This is the only time we speak, and we got to catch up on each other.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you talking about? We don't play video games together at all.
No,
I hate this guy outside of this.
there's no way we're about to play Monster Hunter once we're done with this recording.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but if y'all enjoyed what you heard today, give us a like, drop a comment, tell us, are you reading, watching any of the stuff we discussed today? Let us know. Let us know something maybe that's coming out recently that we missed that maybe we want to check out. And as always, share, tell your friends. You know the drill. That's going to do it for today. We'll catch y'all later.
Peace.